So welcome to Recruitment and Retention for Student Organizations. Org Smorg was great. I'm sure you all enjoyed that, but now what? So here's our agenda for today. Welcome and introduction, recruitment. What, why, and how? What is it? What to consider, and how you can use Phoenix Connect, which is available to you now, as to learn your target audiences. And we actually have an example from First Gen Phoenix in the PowerPoint. Yeah, you'll see. And then recruitment strategy. So we'll do a few things. And then retention. What, why, and how. What is it? I'll introduce the GREAT principle, which I adapted from the recruitment and retention page from UW-Madison. Then we'll use Canvas to explore placement and engagement of new members. So now that you've got them, what do you do with them? Then we'll do some hands-on retention strategies, which I know you will love. And then connecting the dots. Why are we doing this? What is this all for? Then we'll have a review of everything we've covered, and then action steps. What can you do going forward? All right, I am the graduate assistant for student organizations. I have an associate's in human resources from NWTC. I have a bachelor's of science in education from UWGB, so I did my undergrad here. I have a master's of science in curriculum and instruction from Western Governors University, and I'm currently enrolled in the doctorate program in applied leadership at here right now. My experiences in student organizations are, as an undergrad, I was in student WIA. I auditioned to get into concert choir. I was one of the first future Phoenix fellows. I built houses with Habitat for Humanity, and I was an avid tutor. Some of my experiences in adult learning, I was a certified adjunct instructor at NWTC for about 5 years, and I taught adult learners at Literacy Green Bay as an English language learner instructor and a career and college readiness instructor. So what you're going to find throughout this PowerPoint presentation is that it's all about intention, being intentional. So what is recruitment? Recruitment is the intentional process of attracting and bringing in new members to sustain the organization. So seeking out interested students and engaging with them about the organization's purpose and benefits, and using those strategies in campus events, social media, word of mouth, and direct outreach. And we'll talk about that in this presentation. All right, so things to consider: the who, the what, the when, the where, and how. Who are you trying to reach? What is your goal? When will you start recruitment? Where will you recruit? And how will you stand out among other organizations? We are actually going to dive a little bit deeper into this. I've got the 5 whys worksheet. And as you can see, who are you trying to reach? Who are you trying to reach? Are you looking for freshmen or upperclassmen? What is your goal? You should always set a goal each semester. Where will you start recruitment? How will you stand out? Are you going to do a bowling tournament or maybe a trip to a thrift store? So we're going to take about 5 minutes, and I'm going to hand these out. And if you need a pen, I have pens as well. And we're going to take a little bit of time, and I'm going to go through the questions after I put them back on the screen. And if you have a buddy nearby, you can go ahead and discuss those questions. I got pens. So going back. So fill out each question to help your organization better understand how to recruit. Who are you trying to reach? Are there specific students you are looking to recruit? What is your goal? How many students are you trying to recruit? 3, when will you start recruitment? Recruiting new members should be a year-round goal. Where will you recruit? Is this campus-wide? Or are you trying to target a certain group? How will you stand out among other organizations? And here's a thought. Being collaborative. I know of an event that is coming up. I'm not going to mention it, but there are a couple of organizations working together on an event in campus this week. And then they are going out into the community working together. So how could you combine working together with other orgs to recruit new members? Do I have any volunteers for any of the questions? What is your goal? Does anybody have a goal? Question 2? Yes. That's great. And that goes into when we look at Phoenix Connect, we look at the class and it tells you freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, and you can see who you're reaching. Thank you for that. 5, how will you stand out? Does anybody want to answer that? Takers. Yeah, Eden.
Volunteering events and stuff like that, and kind of like catching our name stuff, you know, like I don't know, just like really getting our name out there in like community involvement, I think would help.
Yeah. Do you know about the Brown County Volunteer Center? Now you do. We will talk. We will talk. All right. So so people only know what you tell them. So the best thing to tell them is what is your purpose for your organization? What are you here for? Your successes and achievements. A lot of people like your monthly dinners. The activities you usually participate in. So bake sales, a speaker series, ghost stuffies and spooky plant hangers. Tell them about the expectations and the benefits. So who is involved in your organizations at UWGB? Who is your target audience? And we are going to look at 4 areas: class, major, credit hours, and admit type. And we are going to look at First Gen Phoenix and Phoenix Catholic. Just waiting for my phone. All right. So now you are in Phoenix Connect. Go to the login button. You'll go down to admin dashboard. On your left-hand side, you'll see a lot of choices. You want to go all the way down to analytics. This is a lot of helpful information that you have at your fingertips. We're going to give it a few moments. It takes a little while for Phoenix Connect. But you can even see, you can see attendance, you can see membership, you can see top locations, top events. We're going to focus on the demographics. So we are going to focus on class, major, credit hours, and admin type. So this is for everybody, but it's helpful if your organization has had an event. So I'm going to go ahead in the I'm sorry. I went to organizations and just clicked down. You can just enter First Gen Phoenix. And that is going to tell you membership, their top locations. So the top location for them to meet is room 125. Their top event was the First Gen meeting at 9:16. And this is what you were talking about, knowing who you're reaching. You can see that 34% are seniors and 26% are freshmen. Majors, if that's something that's in line, like the psych club, you would have psychology, communication, human bio, credit hours. So what sort of commitments do your students that you're reaching have? What are they balancing? I want to let you know now, as student org leaders, I really appreciate your time because you have your commitments to your student org and your workload, and maybe you also have a job on top of that. And I want you to know that I appreciate you putting in the time to be here today. All right, so you can see 34% have a 15 credits and followed by 12 credits. And then almost all of them are new students. I want to show you one more example of what I'm talking about. And that is Phoenix Catholic. So you can see the top location is the Moffitt Center. Their top event is Worship Wednesday and Sunday Mass. Almost 70% is a new student. But let's look at their class. Their class, 33% is senior, 30% is junior. So they've got a good combination of upperclassmen in that org. So they may look at saying, hey, maybe we need to get some freshmen and sophomore in here. Again, majors, communication, nursing, English, credit hours. So 12 and 15 were the most credit loads that they had. And then admin type 67 was new student. So this is just, it's good information for you to be aware about and know how to use when you're thinking about developing a recruitment plan. All right. So whiteboard and chalking headlines. So as I was talking to the person from the psych club, they have whiteboard headline, but we're going to do something engaging, and you can also do this with chalking as well, writing a hook for your organization. So I just put this prompt right into Copilot, write an engaging headline for American Fisheries Society, and that encourages people to attend meetings. And I came up with hooked on conservation, real and knowledge and community at AFS meetings. Men of Color, lead and power unite, discover your strength with Men of Color Alliance. And before we get to our activity, I'm just gonna go over some rules for chalking. This is under the university police and policies. So you can only have chalking out for 8 days. It's got to be 15 feet away from any entrance. Can't be on any building, sign, structure, or wall. It's not permitted in front of the Widener. You need to say what organization you're with, so make sure you mention your organization. And I am going to go to the doc cam. Oh, it is on there, sorry. So what we have is whiteboard headlines, worksheet, write a hook for your student organization on a whiteboard or chalking message. So I want you to take out your phones and get Google up and write the following hook. Write an engaging headline for your site club that encourages people to attend meetings. I'm going to pass the worksheet around. You're going to put the name of your organization down, and you have 3 headlines to fill in. Now we've come to the fun part of the presentation, social media and recruitment. And I was fortunate enough to go to the social media workshop that Jenna and Frankie put on in September. And she was nice enough to let me actually borrow from her presentation. If you'd like a copy of that presentation, please email me and I will send you a copy. So the benefits, she called it social advocacy. So using social media in your student org, growing membership, broadening that awareness, leading to networking, showcasing that leadership. So this is UWGB storytelling. They highlight academic stories and success, spotlight student achievement, share noteworthy news, publicize events and opportunities, showcase the authenticity of the student. And as you can see, here is a posting that Jenna and Frankie put up about the physician that went from being an undergrad to a local physician. So I'll leave that up for just a little bit. All right, step 1, build and enhance your social presence. Lean into social channels where your target audience is. Remember, we talked about that target audience in Phoenix Connect? So Instagram, looking for inspiration, Facebook, day-to-day, TikTok, entertainment, LinkedIn, networking. That's what you want to use these channels for. Yes. I would focus on 1 or 2. Good content is better than many content. So, and we'll get into what good content is in just a little bit. Oh. Here we go. Share your story. Just like you, your org has a story. All right, content type matters. A good variety. So the example that Jenna gave was reaching new audiences. Use reel and carousel. Engage with followers. Carousel, single photo, stories. For your most loyal fans, lives and channels. Avoid graphics. So just still not moving. People like seeing people. All right. So you want to make sure it's relatable, emotional, and relevant. And one big thing that you can do to kind of start that brainstorming process of social media is finding a trend. If you find a trend on social media, which you'll see in the emotional one, that student org took a trend and made it their own. That's an easy way to make content on social media. So let me.
New research shows that lying on the floor can help you feel less overwhelmed in what many are referring to as floor time.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my girls.
And this is my favorite video. All right, so remember those three key: relatable, emotional, and relevant. And that's a good way to start your social media
New research
recruitment.
shows that lying on the
All right, so what to do content about? Here we've got member spotlights, member interviews. Why did I join? Then and now, myth busting. This is where I share. This is a great example of the crochet club. Everybody thinks you have to be a member of the crochet club to join. Well, this is a great example of a myth buster that you can use. And Jenna actually came up with this list by just typing it into AI and coming up with it. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel to be successful at social media recruiting. And then, very importantly, accessibility. So we want social media to be for everybody. So high contrast, low contrast, that's something I would have not thought of if Jenna didn't bring it up, but that's very important. So you want the high contrast. Having emojis in the middle of your text does not work with screen readers. Use that default font. And again, warn people flashing strobing lights. Include captions in the videos. Write in Pascal case, which is just capitalizing the first letter. And something exciting, she is going to make an accessibility checklist, which I think is great. So that is coming soon. All right, so we are going on to retention. And again, intentionality shows up. Retention refers to the rate at which members remain active and engaged in the organization. The intentional practice of keeping members actively engaged and committed. This includes applying principles like GRAPE and using tools as Canvas to strategically place and support new members. So what is the GRAPE principle? It is an acronym for the 5 most common reasons students join student organizations. It's growth, recognition, achievement, participation, and enjoyment. Growth, having opportunities to increase your skills and competencies, becoming more competent, experienced, and confident. Make sure everyone in your organization is aware of and committed to recruiting members. Help them be prepared to answer questions. Help them be comfortable talking. So I was really thinking about the reason you might be coming to the presentation today. And I was worried you might be coming for a quick fix, because I'm not offering a quick fix, because the most effective way to recruit and retain members is one-on-one communication with people and building a relationship with them. But that can be one of the hardest things to do. And so if you take anything away from tonight, just know that reaching out to people and getting to know them is going to get you farther than any quick fix that I could give you here today. All right, recognition, knowledge or feeling that someone or something present has been encountered before, special notice or attention. Don't miss the opportunity to sell your organization. Can your members answer the question, tell me about your club? What do you do? Does everybody have an answer to that? And again, this is where that collaboration comes into play. Many students are members of different organizations. Even tonight, we have a couple people that are members of different organizations. And I think of Moses, who is part of OLA, and he's also on the Graduate Students Council as well. So that got me to thinking, what about the Graduate Studies Council? I can ask Moses because of my interaction with OLA with him. So achievement, having the opportunity to solve problems, seeing the results of your effort, being given meaningful responsibilities, seeing your feedback and ideas become reality. So if you're finding it difficult, it's always helpful to ask why. And remember, students join motivated organizations that have goals, a vision, and an action plan. All right, achievement. When is the last time you evaluated your organization? Ask your current members to evaluate your organization in the following areas. A sense of purpose. Do they feel fulfilled? Internal communication. How do you communicate? An org that I'm aware of actually has an app to communicate internally with its members. 3, growth and development opportunities. Can people grow professionally and personally within your organization? Team building. What do you do to create that bond of membership? Member participation. Do you recognize member participation? Recognition. What means the most to your members? Participation. Given the opportunity and being allowed to make or contribute to important decision making, being active, not just a member. Again, recruitment is not just it's not just your job. You want to bring back that message, hey, we're all in this together. We're going to grow it together. Your recruitment campaign should include a timeline, specific techniques and tasks to be accomplished, and an indication of who will be responsible. Enjoyment, enjoyment, having fun, working as part of a team, feeling a part of something important, creating a positive and welcoming environment. Know your members' names, know your members' needs. Personal contact is important. One of the things that I do in this role is I'm supposed to be a contact person for students, student orgs. And so I want to make that connection with student org leaders. Well, I'm not going to do that by sitting behind the desk in the Student Engagement Center. So I took it upon myself to go out once a week to student org events and meet students and get to know them, to let them know I'm accessible and I'm here for you. That is personal contact. And that may be something that you'll want to try. It, maybe it's because I have a reason when I go out, when I'm by myself, because I'm an introvert, people. I'm an introvert, totally. But, you know, I have a reason for being there. So that just kind of makes it easier for me. So just having that personal contact is important. Creating opportunities for people to practice their leadership skills. So having like a short-term recruitment campaign and having people in charge of that instead of you, because you do have a lot on your plate. All right, resources. So we're going to go to the Canvas course that you are a part of, and we're going to look at room reservations, event checklists, and event planning by brainstorming. And the reason we're looking at this is once you have people, what do you do with them? And in the survey that I sent out, I found out that most of you would like information about event planning. So in November, our workshop is going to be on event planning. So we are going down to programming and we are looking at room reservations. So this is right in your Canvas course. So know the date and the time of the event, the number of people attending, and any other special needs. You can reserve the space right with the link in there. They've got a phone number, email. You can even also do the fire pit as well. So once you have people, you need a place to put them. And then we're also going to look at event planning by brainstorming. So how do you plan events? What can brainstorming do? How do we brainstorm? So there's 9 points. And then once you've brainstormed, what do? 9 points. And then you just need to execute. And then, which I think is super helpful, which I'm going to mention in the workshop, is there is an event checklist. So 5 to 6 weeks before the program, 3 to 4 weeks before the program, 2 weeks before the program, 1 week, day of, after the presentation. So those are your resources. So we are going to do some hands-on retention strategies. We are going to do some rapid fire questions. One of the best ways to retain members, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, is building connections. So we're going to divide up into 2 groups. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you two, so in rapid fire questions, you just need a face-to-face partner. You want to be a face-to-face partner? So you two could be a face-to-face partner. You two could be a face-to-face partner. You two, you want to be Nancy's face-to-face partner? Yeah, you two, and then you two. And so what it does is there is going to be a minute, and I'll be with you, Caitlin, Kaylee, and here we go. So we're going to do 2 questions. The first one is going to be, what's the best advice you've ever received? And we're going to do that for about a minute and a half. Then we're going to stop. Then we're going to go to the last question. What's something you're proud of? So you ask the question, the other person answers, then you take turns. So I'll tell you when to start. Okay. How many people like that activity? How many people like that activity? Okay, awesome. Almost everybody did. Building connections. So I hope you like the next one. Human bingo. You are going to actually have to move. So I'm going to hand out some bingo cards, just like regular bingo. Does anyone need a pen? These are pretty, you can make these up free online. These are as general as you can get. So I know we will get some winners here. I have some UWGB swag. I got the actual logo, none of this imprint stuff for you. So as soon as I hand it out, you can get up out of your seat. Oh no, I said that. And find some people to sign the bingo card. When they have what's in the statement. So if they can juggle, they sign it. If they have met a celebrity, they can sign it. I'll put the directions up in just a second and then we can start.